Now on Nightside, the Liberty Lake City Council met to read the newest version of a controversial ordinance giving them power over the library board. The heated debate.
I'm tracking the next round of wet weather on the way. I'll show you how it could impact your travel plans in the First Alert forecast.
And hope on the horizon for those campaigning for a ceasefire between Israel and Palestine. 3 American hostages, including an orphan little girl, could soon be coming home. You're watching 4 News Now Nightside. Thanks so much for staying up with us. I'm Derek Dice. Tonight, the Liberty Lake City Council read the newest version of an ordinance that's been debated for months. If passed, it would give City Council the final say over the library board. The newest version of the ordinance removes verbiage suggesting the council would have the power to ban books. According to members of the community and Councilwoman Annie Kurtz, the public has largely advocated against this ordinance in the past. Some say it's on the agenda now because results from the most recent election allow a brief period where conservatives in favor of controlling the library board are in power.
Tonight's action feels very sneaky to me. It feels like there's a very narrow window of opportunity for an agenda to be pushed.
And tonight, Liberty Lake residents poured into council chambers for over 2 hours. They shared their heated opinions both for and against. The issues largely circulated around the book Gender Queer and what sort of content should and should not be allowed in libraries. A council member wanted to push it to a later date for committee review, but that idea was shot down. The new version of the ordinance was read, but there was no vote tonight. Well, new on Nightside, a similarly heated debate for Seattle City Council. Should the Parks Department build a playground for children near Seattle's unofficial nude beach? Denise Whitaker has the story.
Seattle City Parks posted notice that a playground's now proposed for Denny Blaine Park, kicking off a firestorm of controversy.
There's a rally cry going on right now, and we're grateful for those who understand that safe, diverse spaces need to be kept.
Denny Blaine Park is known as a clothing optional destination in Seattle, frequented by the LGBTQ community. Many who use this park tell me they don't understand why anyone would add a kid's space to what they call an adult park.
I'm a grandmother of 6. I wouldn't bring my grandkids down there because it's adults having that kind of fun, but there's nothing wrong and nothing to ever be ashamed of.
Seattle City Parks tells me the playground would not really cost taxpayers because the money is coming from a private donor.
And the donation was made conditional on it being at Denny Blaine, makes it clear that building a playground isn't the donor's highest priority. It's more about pushing people out of that space.
Discussion during the Park Commission meeting confirms the money is specifically for Denny Blaine Park. City Council members also brought up this proposal during a separate council meeting.
This would be basically creating division amongst community members where there currently is none.
We will certainly review. It is not our intention to make this a polarizing issue or to at all discriminate against any group.
An online petition against Seattle Park's proposal so far has more than 2,800 signatures. In Seattle, Denise Whitaker, KOMO News.
All right, we have some big news to share here. The 4 News Now family just got a little bit bigger. It is our pleasure to introduce Kirsten O'Connor and her husband's new baby boy. Take a look at Noah Joseph, who weighed in at 7 pounds and 7 ounces today. Kirsten will be on maternity leave for the next few months, but her growing family now 1 member larger.
What a darling little baby, too.
Yeah, we can't wait to meet him.
Cannot wait to meet him. Well, we are tracking some showers in the First Alert Weather Center tonight. Here's a look at our Doppler radar, and we're starting to see some returns on this side of the Cascades, but have yet to confirm anything is reaching the ground. Let's go ahead and zoom in the Northeast Mountains and North Idaho, and you'll notice the green is in the valley locations, turning pink as it heads up into the foothills, and blue only in the highest mountains. Snow level should be staying around 4,000 feet. A couple of exceptions. Colville, you may see a little bit of a rain-snow mix. Bonners Ferry, also the possibility of a rain-snow mix. Right now, as we zoom in around Sandpoint, Pend Oreille, Dover, we see that very light green. However, not able to confirm that any of this is reaching the ground. Here is the scene right now in Sandpoint at US 2 and Boyer, and the roads look pretty dry. Any precipitation that reaches the ground eventually will be very light tonight and will not last for long. Here's our chance of precipitation in Spokane, up to 20% at 2 a.m., really peaking around 4 a.m. and then drops off very quickly. I think we'll be dry by the morning commute around the region, and it will be in the form of rain. Pick of the night tonight from Tina Johnson, the Winter Glow Spectacular now in Liberty Lake. Cool drive-by lights to see. I'll be back with your 7-day forecast in just a few minutes. Derek.
Well, if you're hitting the road this week, you're certainly not alone. AAA estimates 49 million people will be driving to their Thanksgiving Day destinations. And if you're heading west, you'll want to drive over Snoqualmie Pass as early as you can tomorrow. The Department of Transportation expects traffic to be at its worst around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And you'll definitely want to get to wherever you're going before 6 o'clock.
Because at that point, you're mixing holiday travelers on the roads with commuters, people who have to work on Wednesday.
Now, the good news for drivers is gas prices are much cheaper this Thanksgiving compared to last year by about 12 cents in Spokane and 20 cents in Coeur d'Alene. A couple of closures in Spokane to keep in mind this week. City Hall, Court, and Community Justice Services will all be closed Thursday and Friday. Garbage pickup will be a day late for those with Thursday and Friday pickup, and libraries will be closed as well. And don't let yourself be surprised this holiday. See the full list of city facilities that are closing on KXLY.com. Well, descendants of Native American woman Sacagawea visited Sacagawea Middle School today to speak with students about her story and what her name represents. Sacagawea's great-great-great-niece, Roseanne Abrahamson, led today's assembly. She taught them Native American Sign Language and told Sacagawea's story. She was a Shoshone woman who was captured at a young age and helped Lewis and Clark during their expedition in the early 1800s. It was said Sacagawea knew how to do almost everything by the age of 12. The same age a lot of the middle school students are right now.
I feel like it's just kind of crazy to think she got taken and like ripped away from her family at such a young age, like pretty much like how old I am now, and to just like be on her own and like have to know all these skills but still like persevere through it and like be such a strong and like courageous woman.
The assembly ended with some Native American dancing. Abrahamson said she hopes students leave today knowing we are a human tribe and we are all in this together. Well, breaking new details in the effort to release some of the hostages still being held by Hamas. A ceasefire, at least temporarily. Israel has approved a deal negotiated with the help of Qatar and the United States for Hamas to let some of those hostages go in exchange for a temporary truce. 3 Americans are expected to be part of the initial group of hostages that will be released, including a 3-year-old American orphan on the October 7th attack. Here's ABC's Rena Roy.
A deal approved to release hostages being held by Hamas. The Israeli War Cabinet voting in favor of the agreement. ABC News has learned about 50 women and children would be let go in exchange for about 150 Palestinian prisoners would be released by Israel. There would also be a 4-day ceasefire to allow humanitarian aid into Gaza. An Israeli source briefed on the deal tells ABC each day of the ceasefire will see a batch of 10 to 12 hostages released. And if Hamas continues to release hostages, the ceasefire could be extended. Families of the hostages desperate for their loved ones to come home.
I think the only thing that I could call justice is bringing everyone back home.
This as the war rages on in Gaza, devastating strikes killing dozens of civilians, according to the United Nations. Patients being evacuated from overwhelmed hospitals, including the Indonesian hospital in North Gaza. Children on stretchers seen loaded off a bus to another hospital in the south. This makeshift shelter set up to help Palestinians who have been displaced. UN officials saying that number is about 1.7 million in Gaza.
The circumstances of our shelters very tough. They are suffering a lot.
And Israel is also under fire over mounting violence from Israeli settlers against Palestinians in the West Bank amid the war, with President Biden calling on those settlers to be held accountable. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
Well, the story of a Spokane man who survived a heart attack thanks to the quick action of the Spokane Valley Fire Department and the mysterious respiratory illness spreading among dogs across the country, including here in Spokane. It's next on Nightside.
If you're heading over the passes tomorrow, you'll run into some wet weather on Snoqualmie, but in the form of light rain, a rain-snow mix in Stevens. One of the trouble spots is going to be Lookout Pass, where you could see up to 2 inches of snow, but just rain at 4th of July Pass. I'll be back with your 7-day forecast after the break.
Connect with 4 News Now on KXLY+.
4 News Now is brought to you by Old World Christmas.
Dear road rivals, you may have 4 wheels, headlights, and a similar build, but our resemblance ends right there. You see, the Camry's been named best-selling car in America. But cheer up, wannabe twinsies. If you try harder, maybe you can catch up. Later, Toyota.
Every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care, our no-cost maintenance plan with roadside assistance. Visit your local Toyota dealer to learn more. Reserve yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
Hey there, everybody. It's me, Jimmy.
Oh, Jimmy.
Yes.
Expect the unexpected.
I've never seen you in the club till it closed.
Well, I beg to differ. In fact, I even have a tattoo on my leg.
Jimmy Kimmel Live, weeknights on ABC.
However you do the holidays, do it together in the Chevy that's right for you. The strong and capable Chevy Silverado, the award-winning Chevy Equinox, or the all-new Chevy Trax. This holiday season, do more together in a new Chevy. Or qualified lessees can get this Equinox for around $249 a month. Or get 1.9% financing on all 2024 Equinox models.
We aren't just HVAC specialists. We're a Lennox premier dealer. That means we offer the most energy-efficient products on the market with savings you can see and perfect air you can feel. Your comfort is our passion, and we're with you every breath of the way. Enjoy greater comfort and lower energy costs. Call us today and save on Lennox with special incentives and rebates.
Call Norco Heating and Air today.
It's Sports Giving weekend, and the 4 News Now sports team will be in Seattle for it all. From a pivotal Seahawks home game to WSU and UW's fierce rivalry, watch now through Saturday only on 4 News Now and streaming free on KXLY+.
4 News Now is brought to you by Becker Buick.
Welcome back. If you plan to board your dogs during this holiday season, you may want to rethink it. One local animal shelter is closed and has been for weeks because of mysterious respiratory illness spreading among dogs across the country. Among the 51 dogs at Spokane right now, 30 are currently sick. The center even had to put one of the dogs down because of the illness. People who came to adopt dogs, well, they're not allowed to go inside the building at all. Instead, they have to go through the adoption process while staying outside. Mike Bustos came to Spokane to get a new furry family member, but because of the sick animals, he had to take extra steps to meet the dog.
I feel pretty confident they have a good vet here. I feel pretty confident that they're keeping the healthy dogs quarantined from the non-healthy dogs.
Executive Director Dory Peck says Spokane staff noticed the illness in the dogs for the first time in September. She says to make sure your dog is up to date on their vaccinations, and instead of boarding, consider a home pet sitter instead, and contact your vet immediately if you see runny eyes and runny noses in your dogs. While a lot of us are feeling gratitude for many things in our lives this holiday season, one Spokane Valley man says he's thankful to be alive. This past June, Brad Garrett had a heart attack and says he's here today because the Spokane Valley Fire Department saved his life. One morning in June, Garrett called 911 with chest pains, and SVFD was there in just 3 minutes. Firefighters performed CPR and took him to the hospital, where Garrett had to stay for 48 days. When he was finally healthy enough to leave, he went back to the station to thank the firefighters who helped him.
They had to do CPR for about 8 minutes until I came back, and then I died about 8 more times after that, that same morning. But without them being there so fast, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
What an ordeal. Garrett has since moved to Missouri with his wife and is now healthy. And We also heard from one of the firefighters who helped save Garrett's life. You can hear that on KXLY.com. Those are the students at the Hope Center celebrating Thanksgiving with our own Mark Peterson. The Hope Center is the only program in Eastern Washington that offers classes for children with hearing issues from birth to preschool.
Earlier this year, Mark and the rest of the Extreme team helped remodel that space, including a big adventure room. And that's where the kids got some cooking lessons, all while learning some new words ahead of their friendship feast.
What's great about this is our kids who are profoundly deaf, they get to talk with their grandparents, their cousins, their aunts and their uncles, instead of using sign language.
Pretty cool. And if you'd like to see all the work that went into upgrading that center, you can head to KXLY.com and click on the Extreme Team tab. Pretty cool experience for all of those kids.
Yeah, including Mark. Pretty cool experience.
No doubt.
Getting serenaded by those little darlings.
Yeah.
Oh, Thanksgiving.
Yep, everybody wondering what the weather's going to be like.
I think this is going to be pretty spectacular. We just have this little bit of wet weather coming in overnight. And then we've got some really nice weather to talk about. Here are 4 things to know about your weather. We've got that light rain overnight. I'm feeling quite confident that in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene it is just going to be rain, and certainly points to the south. To the north, you may see a little bit of snow mixing in, but nothing that is going to stick because everything is going to be light, even in the mountains. The only exception around Lookout Pass looks like by this time tomorrow night could be more in the 2 to 4 inch range of snow. And then we're heading into a dry Thanksgiving. Should be fantastic for those post Thanksgiving feast walks and getting out for a jog perhaps in the morning, if that's your thing. It is clearly not the late shift's favorite thing to do. And then we have a cold weekend coming ahead. That is a relative term. It is going to be colder than average and colder than we have been. It's been such a mild late fall so far, but it might come to a little bit of a shock to your system. Here's a look at your planner for tomorrow. We've got that chance of light rain very early, but by the time most folks are heading out the door, a lot of folks have the day off, it's going to be dry. Possibly a little bit of sunshine, but boy, we've got a lot of high and mid-level clouds moving in, filtering that low-angle sun. You don't get much. 41, again, our high. 40 is our average high. Here's a look at our forecast radar, and it initializes well. This is about where we're starting to see the very lightest of precipitation. And I want to say I have this model set on its most sensitive setting, so it may look like the precipitation is heavier than what it is actually going to be. 2 a.m. we have light rain and mountain snow from Sandpoint down through Ritzville and the Tri-Cities, and just barely starting to see some sprinkles around Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. That'll pick up a little bit overnight, but here we are at 7 a.m. already clearing Spokane and Coeur d'Alene with rain for Moscow, Pullman, St. Mary's, some snow in the mountains around Kellogg, but should be rain in Kellogg. Finally, by 11 a.m., it is gone, and we're going to be staying dry right on through. The next big thing is the cold, as I mentioned, and that, again, relative term. This black line is average. We're going to be down here in the 30s for the weekend, and overnight lows, the coolest readings that we've seen. It is dry air, unfortunately. Skiers, snowboarders, winter enthusiasts, that is coming in with that cooler air. So we'll get rid of the fog, but I do not have any good news for skiers. Overnight lows tonight in the 20s and, or excuse me, 30s and 40s, 40s for highs tomorrow across the region. We've got a lot of 20s for overnight lows in the 7-day forecast. Some sunshine, a really nice Thanksgiving. Can't wait.
Yeah.
Great weather.
Like, it's cold, yes, but it could be a whole lot worse, for sure.
Absolutely. So much worse.
All right, Chris, thanks so much. Well, cook the turkey, not your home. That's the annual PSA from the Consumer Product Safety Commission to drive home the dangers of deep frying turkeys. So what are some turkey frying tips? They say thaw the turkey, dry the turkey, don't overfill the pot with hot oil, and keep away from buildings. Your teenagers might not want to hang out with you all the time, but it's good for them, according to a recent study. Teens may be significantly healthier as young adults if their relationships with parents are warm and positive. The National Institute of Health followed over 15,000 teenagers for 14 years. Kids whose parents spent lots of time with them and who were warm and positive, as well as caring about their school, were healthier in their late 20s. So making those efforts for your teenagers now could help them now and pay off in the long run as well. Just remember, next time they tell you to bug off. All right, how to keep your house plants healthy all winter long. That's coming up next here on Nightside.
Download the KXLY Plus app for weather every 10 minutes.
Whatever the holidays mean to you, get the most out of them in a new Honda. Whether it's taking in the lights with all your friends in a spacious Accord, or taking in a snow day in a rugged CRV. Your holiday adventure awaits with a new Honda during Happy Honda Days. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or visit your local Honda dealer today.
Hi, I'm Ken.
And I'm Donnie.
We lead the Advocates.
The Advocates fight for each of our injured clients. We take on big insurance and get big results.
We're both advocates, but we're very different from each other.
That's true.
I say potato, she says...
Potato.
Oh, I guess we're the same there.
Potato. Do people say that a different way?
Potato.
Who says it that way?
Never mind. Injured? You deserve an advocate.
We love our house, but lately we've been feeling a little cramped.
So we talked to ICCU about a new home loan. The process was super quick, and we got a really great rate.
We start house hunting tomorrow.
Preferably something with a bigger garage.
Did you see this? It says most people are going to need long-term care that health insurance and Medicare won't cover.
I saw that, and it got me thinking, if I need to pay for home modifications or in-home care, I am not prepared. Are you?
Not really. I mean, whatever happens, I just want to know that I'll be able to get care and stay in my own home as I age.
Right? I want that too. So,
Find out how the WA Cares Fund can help.
4 News Now is brought to you by Andy's Heating, Cooling, Electrical.
All right, thanks for staying up with us here on Nightside. The journey to cut down the family Christmas tree is a beloved holiday tradition for many. And these days, it's also big business. 25 to 30 million fresh-cut Christmas trees are sold in the U.S. every year. Last year, they averaged $80 a piece. But you can find some seriously jolly savings by cutting your own at a national forest near you. Experts say it helps keep the forest healthy.
By thinning out the smaller diameter trees, you allow the bigger diameter trees to grow, and that just builds in better resiliency to insects, diseases, or any other thing that comes along in that.
At other forests, reasons include preventing wildfires and even helping endangered species. National forests across the country in all of these locations, including here, offer Christmas tree permits available online, some for as low as $5. Lots of decent local options. All right, we're just 2 days away from Thanksgiving and a month out from Christmas. And as you look for a present for a loved one during the season of giving, plants can make a great gift. One festive plant you can buy in Spokane during the winter is a poinsettia. If you do decide to gift plants, there are extra steps you can take to make sure they stay healthy throughout the winter. Poinsettias are described as medium plants. They do well in temperatures around 70 degrees, don't need to be watered too often, and need just 6 hours of sunlight a day. Well, financial experts are concerned people will overspend this holiday season and add to their credit card debt. The Federal Reserve Bank of New York says during the third quarter of this year, U.S. credit card debt reached a record $1.8 trillion with a T dollars. Experts say the best way to control your spending is to make a budget before swiping your card. Well, Gonzaga bounced back in a big way on day 2 of the Maui Invitational. We'll tell you who starred against Syracuse coming up next in sports.
Download the KXLY Plus app for breaking news.
4 News Now is brought to you by R&R RV.
These neighbors compete with decorations that are no good.
That is so incredible.
And the light fight takes off with all-star families who slayed the competition.
The coolest thing I've ever seen.
The Great Christmas Light Fight. The festivities begin Sunday on ABC and stream on Hulu.
The holidays inspire us all to connect. With family. With friends. No matter what the road throws at you. So find the connection you're looking for this winter in a new SUV with standard all-wheel drive during the Mazda Season of Inspiration sales event.
With effortless power and the reliability of iActive all-wheel drive, Mazda CUVs are built for the Pacific Northwest. Take a test drive today at Foothills Mazda or shop now at SpokaneMazda.com.
Spokane's grand holiday tradition lives at Christmas Tree Elegance in the Davenport Hotel and River Park Square. Fabulous packages raffle to support our symphony.
We want a tree.
We want a tree, and so can you.
A brand new holiday musical with Elvis Presley, Johnny Cash, Carl Perkins, and Jerry Lee Lewis. $1 Million Quartet Christmas the Musical.
December 23rd at First Interstate Center for the Arts. BroadwaySpokane.com.
Elevate your wedding planning experience at Believe Bride's Engaged Bride Night and Fashions. Join us for a captivating fashion show and connect with top-notch vendors. It's the event every engaged couple needs to attend to bring their dream wedding to life. Enter to win at KXLY.com.
The Black Friday sale is on now at Shred with some of the best buys of the year on all skis and snowboards, gloves and goggles, and last year model jackets and pants. So you're ready to hit the slopes.
Let's have a blast.
Welcome back. Thanks for tuning into sports. I'm Julian Minenso. The 2023 Apple Cup is approaching, and there is a lot on the line. No Pac-12 team has won a national championship in the college football playoff era, let alone gone undefeated in conference play. The Huskies are looking to be the first. Right now, Washington is a 16.5-point favorite over Washington State, but the Cougars are hoping to spoil the party. The Huskies have also won 8 of the last 9 Apple Cups, but Washington head coach Kalen DeBoer says none of that matters in a rivalry game.
They certainly are coming into play and have something to play for, and we know that. And I think there's just rivalry games, you throw the records out. And, you know, it's the last game of the season. You know, you want bragging rights, you know, for the next 12 months.
Your Sports Giving weekend coverage starts tomorrow with Alex Crescenti and I reporting live from Seattle, starting with that huge home game for the Seahawks against the Niners on Thanksgiving Day. Huge divisional rival game, followed by the Apple Cup kicking off at 1 o'clock Saturday. We will have live reports and updates on 4 News Now and streaming on your connected TV's free KXLY Plus app. Gonzaga basketball took a break from the beach and returned to the court at the Maui Invitational. The Bulldogs were looking to bounce back from Monday's loss to Purdue. Gonzaga taking on Syracuse, and that's, you know, the Bulldogs looking to do better in three-point shooting and turnovers. That's where they struggled against Purdue. But then again, they didn't need to with this guy underneath. Graham Ike, the big fella, finished with 16 points and 14 rebounds in this one. Here are the Zags with it again, swinging it around. They catch Syracuse sleeping on defense, and it's Anton Watson with the easy slam. Gonzaga led by 14 points at halftime. Syracuse, they got back into this one. Wild sequence here. Judah Mintz had over 20 points for the Orange, gets the layup to fall. That cuts Gonzaga's lead to 6. But here come the Bulldogs on the other end. Ryan Nemhard can't get it to fall, but the Bulldogs grab the rebound, and it swings around to Nolan Hickman, and he buries it from behind the arc. Gonzaga wins 76-57. Gonzaga had 18 turnovers in this game, but it didn't matter because they out-rebounded Syracuse by 20.
I was really, really proud of our response. We came out with great energy, came out with great effort, and obviously great toughness as it showed with the rebound differential.
Now Gonzaga will take on UCLA tomorrow at 9 p.m. in a rematch from last year's Classic Sweet 16 matchup, and that one will be for 5th place at the Maui Invitational. That'll wrap us up for sports.
Well, Black Lab down in Raleigh, North Carolina is racking up a sizable fan base on social media. He's known as Ripken the Bat Dog. Here's ABC's Danny New with his story.
At North Carolina State home football games, the kicker is not responsible for retrieving that little T that holds the ball during kickoffs.
He's very strong-minded.
No, that job belongs to Ripken, who also is a social media superstar and the official bat dog of the Durham Bulls.
I never thought throwing a GoPro on my dog's back would turn into people from Australia coming to visit to watch baseball games.
Through, place. Well, when Michael O'Donnell first adopted Ripken back in 2016, he clearly had a little bit of a vision.
We started fetching little novelty bats when he was 8 weeks old.
Good boy, come. Michael, a former baseball player, had just quit his job to become a professional dog trainer. So naturally, this seemed like the perfect way to get back on the diamond.
Kind of brought me to what my dreams were, and he's the reason of it.
Ripken started with a small summer league team, got a whole lot of press, and then the Bulls reached out in 2020.
When we leave a stadium, it takes us an extra 2 hours. The Bulls players even laugh. They're like, they'll walk by and go, "Hey, thanks for keeping the crowd at bay." I'm signing autographs while they're going to dinner.
And I see it, and I like it.
The team even now sells Ripken merch.
I must do something.
Thank you. And look out.
The champ is here!
Ripken now also has a little brother named Champ, and by next year, I predict that no bat or T will ever go unretrieved again.
Now, if you want to try and catch Ripken in action, you could see him in the Wolfpack's final home game this Saturday on ACC Network. The key, after each kickoff, is to just scan the field for a really good boy. In New York, for ABC News, I'm Danny New.
Download the KXLY Plus app for live updates all day. At 4 News Now, we believe you should expect more from local news. Our team is committed to a community conversation and bringing you information you need when and where you need it. Numerica believes in and supports that mission.
Roundup's like an accidental savings account. I get paid every time I buy something. It's like a bonus for me.
Whether you're in the market for affordable furniture, clothing, or vintage treasures, you'll find what you need at UGM thrift stores. But checking off your list is not all you'll accomplish. Every purchase and donation opens the doors for men, women, and children experiencing homelessness to get the help they need. Your support provides food and shelter, job training, and holistic recovery services at Union Gospel Mission. Stop in today and offer life change.
What is a jewelry design center? Locally owned and the largest jewelry store in the region, offering you more choices, more options. A showroom filled with world-famous brands and designers. A center who also creates exclusive designs and one-of-a-kind pieces. Whose specialized selection process ensures the brightest diamonds and most vivid gems. We are not your average jewelry store. We are Jewelry Design Center, and we want to be your jeweler for life.
Did you know Idaho high school seniors graduating next spring are eligible for up to $8,000 in grant money for career training and education through Idaho Launch? Funds can be used to cover the cost of apprenticeships, job training, community college, and university programs that lead to in-demand careers. Funds are limited. Apply today. Students choose their own path, and Idaho Launch helps pay for it. Idaho Launch. Support in every direction.
See breaking news in your area or have a story idea? Contact 4 News Now.
Little bit of light precipitation overnight, and then we're done.
It is going to be very clear, actually starting early morning tomorrow, right on through the weekend and beyond. A little bit colder for the weekend. We'll be down in the 30s for highs.
So even if you're trying to get on the road tomorrow and you might wake up and see some rain or maybe even some snow, not to worry, right? Because it's not going to really stick.
Yeah, the only trouble spot might be Lookout Pass. But when I say trouble, about what you would expect this time of year. Some light snow.
Okay. Chris, thanks so much. That's going to do it for Nightside. For updates as they happen, you can get the 4 News Now app on your smartphone or check out KXLY.com. Have a great night.